560 The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live this morning from Tej Hanley in Ukrainian Village in the city of Chicago, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. And we're a week away from local elections. It's not just the mayor of Chicago. And it's not just aldermanic races. There's races for school boards and village boards and mayor races.
And referendums.
And referendums, importantly, as well, all over Chicagoland, all over the state. But in Chicagoland, are you going to vote? Are you going to vote in District 86, Hinsdale referendum? School referendum there, in addition to mayor's races in the region that run concurrent with the referendum question and have real divisions between local officials, some supporting increasing property taxes for District 86, which is not just Hinsdale, but Willowbrook and Burr Ridge and Oak Brook. New Trier, bond issue. There's a tax increase referendum in Oswego, 208. And all the school districts are doing the same thing that Hinsdale did.
Oh, really?
The Michael Avenatti routine.
Oh, the shakedown?
Either you give us the money that we demand from your home value, or your programs get it. We shut down the clubs. We shut down the football program.
Shut down sports. No swimming.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Chicago Tribune opined on the topic as aggressively as they can, which is not nearly aggressive enough, but nonetheless, talking about Hinsdale's referendum specifically. After two previous rejections, Hinsdale 86, asking voters to support a property tax hike for quote-unquote school improvements. I'm putting the quotations in there. Hinsdale school board members at the December meeting voted to cut 9 sports at both schools, including football, wrestling, cheerleading, and water polo, along with the marching band and several extracurriculars. The cuts would be effective this fall. That's the extortion racket.
They might as well just be homeschooled. Because there's no extracurricular sports. I mean, that's what they're threatening. They're going to take all that away, please.
Don't take a shot at homeschooling families.
I'm not.
Those kids participate in more extracurriculars than do kids in public school. The subhead in the Tribune talking about this Hinsdale referendum. No football at Hinsdale Central or South? Really? Question mark. Really? The uncertainty of next year's athletic programs contributed to the recent departure of Hinsdale Central's football coach to Lions. Dan Hartman said he would have explored the opportunity. He would have explored the opportunity at Lions anyway, but the circumstances at Hinsdale played a role in his decision to leave. Who could blame him? Yeah. Voters, again, rejected a bond issue of $166 million just November. Before that, they rejected a $76 million bond sale. So, third time's the charm, $139 million referendum request a week from today.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
The Tribune continuing. One thing is clear from the intensity in Hinsdale. Many Illinois residents feel taxed out. They're tired of government reaching into their pockets. And points out that in 2018, net loss of 45,000 residents, the worst of the 5 years of consistent outmigration in Illinois. April 2nd ballot, Winnetka Public School District 36, $90 million. Did I say New Trier? Public School District 36, $90 million in bonds for building renovations. Barrington 220, $185 million in bonds. River Grove Public Library District, $9 million in bonds for a new library. Really? A new library?
Anybody use
Does River Grove have the internet?
Are there hot spots anywhere?
I'll tell you, right, rather than the $9 million in bonds, how about you just buy everybody a computer and Wi-Fi access? Stager raising its levy above the cap to hire more public safety and medical personnel. Mentioned Oswego 208. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Go ahead.
Personally, I just don't like their mock 10 saying we're going to take away football. Really? Hinsdale Central and Hinsdale South are going to take away football, cheerleading, and the marching band? It's just a scare tactic to get people to vote for the referendum. because it's fake news. And you know that because they can also, besides the student fee that everyone normally has to pay, you can have an athletic fee if worse comes to worse. Charge each athlete $200 to $300 per season or to be on the team. They could do that easily.
In
Instead of
Hinsdale,
sticking it to the taxpayers.
you know what I always make the point is missing from most news reporting, like your former employer, all the network affiliates, the print outlets, the Chicago Press Corps, to the 2 C's, context and consequence. Context for understanding, consequence for meaning. So here's some context for Hinsdale. Property tax change in the last 6 years, 2012 to 2018, up 21%, property taxes in Hinsdale.
Oy.
District revenue, District 86 tax revenue, up 9%. Enrollment, down 5%. Debt incurred, $25 million. So here we have the same story writ large in the state of Illinois. We continue to spend more on K-12 education as enrollment declines. We continue to borrow more as enrollment declines, and performance is flat at best. So are you going to continue to buy the blank check demagoguery of teachers' unions and, frankly, the hate has no home here, cultural Marxists who just think if you're opposed to signing your name on a blank check and signing away your home equity, that you're somehow opposed to K-12 education? You're going to continue to buy that simplistic argument and fallacious argument?
Well, they keep, and then they took all the seniors, they bused them to a polling place to show that, all the seniors that are 18 years old that could vote, to show solidarity for this. But again, it's unfair and it's wasteful and it's unaffordable. And why it's what no doesn't mean no. No means maybe, because this is the third time they've been trying to pass this referendum. I mean, is it ever going? If they vote it down again, Dan, is it going to come back again?
Sure. 7
and
times.
Again and again.
Hinsdale 86 has put 7 referenda on the ballot in the last 20 years. 3 have passed. And you know what they do when the 3 pass?
What?
They just spend what they wanted to spend with the others that didn't pass. They overspend.
Oh.
Of course they do. I mean, that's how you get the numbers that I just
let's reward
dictated.
bad behavior.
I mean, do you want to understand where this goes? I mean, we've talked about Hinsdale. We've given the property tax report there. Here, McHenry County. No one is insulated. McHenry County. 23 of the 32 counties we looked at in McHenry County have effective property tax rates higher than the state average, which, again, is twice the national average. Give you an example. What happens? James and Nora Bogren purchased a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home in Richmond, up in McHenry County, for $338,000 in 2004. That's $447,000 in constant 2018 dollars. In comparison, just across the border in Lake Geneva, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that had less square footage than the Bogrens sold for $370,000. March 3rd. The rate was 1.49%. The property tax rate is a percentage of home value. Even a bigger one here. The president of Emergency 24, it's like an alarm company.
Okay.
I mean, holy cow, I'm in the wrong business. The Monteverdes purchased a home in 2010 in Barrington for $7.47 million in today's dollars. 20,000 square foot mansion.
That's just a lot of work.
2 floor-to-ceiling river rock fireplaces, 30-foot cypress dome ceiling,
sure.
floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a pond, waterfall, 22 wooded acres. $7.47 million in 2010, so sort of at the bottom of the market. Right after the bubble burst?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The home sold March 18th of this month.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
7.2?
4.48.
Ooh.
Which is the most anyone has paid for a home in that area for 7 years, since 2012.
And they're going to get fleeced, too.
They lost $3 million. Oh, they also paid $500,000 in the 9 years they owned the property in property taxes. That's 12.5% effective tax rate. They've also now left the country. Ringwood, 6.44%. These are median home sale prices, July to December last year. Effective tax rate on those home sales, median, 6.44%. Median sale price, 115. So, up and down, from 115 grand to millions of dollars. Richmond, 3.83% effective tax rate, more than 3 times national average, 3.5 times. 109 grand is the median sale price. Bull Valley, 3.61%. Barrington Hills, Island Lake, Lakemore, Lakewood, Cary, Fox River Grove, Port Barrington, McHenry, Harvard, Crystal Lake, Algonquin, Prairie Grove, and on and on and on. What does it take to register? What does it take to motivate people to push back against the blank check thugs that are pushing these referendum? And frankly, in the most disgraceful way, using your children and your children's extracurricular activities to extort you, to get you to sign over the deed to your home, effectively.
But it's also something that brings the community together. I mean, even if you don't have a kid at Hinsdale Central or Hinsdale South, people in the community go to those football games. So they're scaring even people that don't have kids, I think, to try to get them to vote for it.
Jared in Munster, Indiana, where people are moving.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Greetings from Northwest Indiana.
There you go.
Hey, I wanted to chime in on Hinsdale specifically because I recall them mentioning that, there's an aging pool and a 50-year-old boiler that they have to address right now. And the question I have is, if you know these things are aging and deteriorating, why haven't you planned ahead for funding these projects?
Why aren't you maintaining them on a rolling basis?
Right. Commercial real estate, they create reserves. Condominium associations, they create reserves. Why can't a school or other, public entities create reserves and plan ahead?
Right. That's a great question,
I'm sure
Jared.
there's a parent at the school who can fix the boiler or give them a discount on that. Like when we need repairs, we go ask, if we need painting, we ask somebody, is there, somebody's parent, a painter here? So then they give it to you at a discounted rate. I mean,
excuse me. Pardon me. Hinsdale South is what, 40% unoccupied? Bennett, where I went to high school, which draws kids from Hinsdale, we're in a 100-year-old building plus. We managed to educate kids. It's the best high school in the state. Managed to educate kids at Bennett, 100-year-old building. St. Ignatius does the same thing. What is the magic of the Catholic schools that they can educate children in old buildings and you can't educate children in Hinsdale? And then you do this, if you don't pass the referendum, the ceilings are going to cave in. Dave in Lamont.
Yes, I had a fascinating conversation with a couple of Hinsdale South school teachers the other night by coincidence. I'm watching the March Madness at a restaurant, end up at a table with these people, and very nice people, but they're school teachers. They start telling me this story of Hinsdale South, 30 teachers are laid off or getting laid off. They're cutting the football program, which to me is like, that was incredible. That does a whole other thing, to start cutting football programs in this country. It's just a sea change. But anyway, they described their neighbors with the vote no signs in their yards, and they had conversations with these neighbors and how angry people are, and they're shocked at how angry people are. But they were very angry as well that these neighbors, because they're ruining it for our children. And I'm like, there it is right there. There's a snapshot. We're being set up for a financial civil war, and I don't mean guns, but just the tone of the divisiveness that these school boards and administrators they're dividing communities right down the blocks, neighbor to neighbor, with public employee versus private sector employee. That's my comment. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dave. Mike in the north side.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for taking my call. I think you're on the wrong side of this. at least in Hinsdale and New Trier, people have the option of voting. We don't have that in Chicago. And the last group I would listen to is the Tribune editorial board. They're the ones that are pushing Lincoln Yards on everybody, $6 billion to the Pritzkers and the Crowns, like they need the money. And they're also backing a 47th Ward candidate, Michael Martin or Matt Martin, whatever his name is, who wants a 3.5% city income tax. So they're all over the board on this.
Negron put that out. That's not true. I talked to Matt. That was just false advertising.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. All these socialists, they're going to get in and cut the budget. You're right, Aim.
Thanks for the call,
You
Mike.
have to choose which socialist you want. They're just sad, but true. That's in the 47th Ward.
The vagaries of the various feudal lords is really interesting, but the bottom line is the power brokers in the city have all proposed tax increases. Every single one of them. Graduating the property tax in Chicago on top of it. Imposing a city income tax, yes, that's been proposed. A LaSalle Street tax we've talked about here. Oh, by the way, some additional news.
Mm-hmm.
You got a doubling of the state gas tax in the works, too. Amendment to Senate Bill 103 would double the motor fuel tax at the state level from 38 cents to 38 cents a gallon from 19 cents. Take effect July of this year.
That's a big jump. I mean, not as big as Detroit was proposing, 75 cents, but still. That's another way to pinch you. We
pay the highest gas taxes in the nation because of the layers of taxation. We're one of the few states that double taxes gas because you have taxes on taxes.
Oh, that's nice. My taxes are taxed?
Gas tax and then a sales tax on the gas tax with the gas tax factored into the sales tax.
Splendid.
Additionally, you've got a 50% or $50, increase in new license plates from 98 to 148. Doubling driver's license fees from $30 to $60. $60 increase on vehicle titles and a $100 hike across all classes of trucks. A weight tax for trucks. Get that pesky trucking business out of the state as well. Yeah, just so we understand here, the 10.25% tax, right? Federal motor fuel excise tax, 18.4 cents. State underground storage and environmental fees, a little over 1 cent, and on down the line. 19 cents, which would go to 38, 5 cents Chicago motor fuel tax, 6 cents Cook County motor fuel tax. This is why with the, I've always wanted, and it's illegal to do, you need an enabling legislation, break down the cost of gas on the receipt at the pump. So you see,
right. So
you see how much the oil companies make, which is like 1 cent a gallon, a couple cents a gallon, the big bad Exxon, and see what governments make. See what governments take at every level, local, regional, and state. And then maybe you get a little sense of why people are fleeing the state like it's on fire. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Tiege Henley in Ukrainian Village, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM